So the reports about the .39 blood alcohol?
Absolutely, unbelievably a lie. Completely ridiculous.
So you think that
I think that 5 years ago when I checked into Betty Ford, I actually survived a little bit more than that.
RadarOnline.com reported Hasselhoff's daughter found him unconscious on the floor of his LA home over the weekend and kept slapping his face to, quote, keep him alive. Hasselhoff had a different spin on the events.
I had a few drinks, but there was no police involved.
And, did you go to the hospital?
I went to the hospital, but not for that.
Not for that?
No, I went for a stomach.
So you didn't pass out? Or?
No.
Hasselhoff's lawyers say his ex-wife is putting out false information. She insists she's telling the truth. So did his ex make up the story, or is the former Baywatch star in denial? And does he need our compassion and help? Joining me, Brenda Wade, clinical psychologist, Lisa Bloom, an anchor on the Legal Network In Session and CNN legal analyst, and Mike Walters, assignment manager at TMZ. Mike, dare we ask, what is the very latest?
Yeah, Jane, we got to say, just like you did, the issue here is the conflict of stories. Let's start with the fact that the wild allegations, the .39, him being drunk, passed out, foaming at the mouth, these going to the hospital, barely being alive. Now, you saw our video. He tells us that basically it's all a lie. None of that happened. He had a few drinks. He went to the hospital for a stomach ailment. But I think the overlining thing here, now that we've got it all on the table, is there's a court order in their nasty divorce, him and his ex-wife Pamela, where they're not supposed to talk to the media about this. And remember, the one report that came out about David and how specific it was very specific from the night of the event. So obviously Pamela's the one doing the talking, and she's not supposed to.
All right, Hasselhoff's lawyers have said, quote, it's pretty obvious that his ex-wife is putting out false information about him. Here's what the Hoff told TMZ.
Do you think your ex-wife is behind spreading these?
What do you think?
I think it seems like these things came out pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well, there's basically a court order about stuff like this that she's continually violating, but I'm not going to. So I'm not going to say.
Now, lawyers for ex-wife Pamela Box say, quote, despite attempts by her ex-husband's lawyers to divert attention from the hospitalization of David and undermining Boss' life-saving involvement, she maintains her ongoing commitment to the health and well-being of the entire family. Lisa Bloom, they had a vicious divorce battle, but it's over. They are divorced. What's this war still about?
Well, right. When you have a he said, she said, or in this case, a he said, she said, because the ex-wife and the daughter are both on the same side, you got to look at who has a motivation to lie. The ex-wife, the divorce is over. I don't see what she has to gain by this. The daughter, what does she have to gain by making up a lie? Well, David Hasselhoff, he does have something to gain by denying all of this because it's bad for his reputation. So I don't know who's telling the truth, but I'm putting my money on the ex-wife and the daughter.
Well, Brenda Wade, I never want to pass judgment. I am a recovering alcoholic with 14 years of sobriety and, always there before the grace of God. Thank you. Go on.
Yes.
And so we want to always respond with compassion. But the fact is, he admitted he had several drinks. He's also admitted to being a recovering alcoholic. He had the 2007
and if you're a recovering
incident.
Alcoholic, right.
Yeah,
if you're a recovering alcoholic, you don't drink because you could trigger the disease and go back into an alcoholic episode. And I hope for his sake he didn't. But Jane, I'm very suspicious because he wouldn't be the first person to have a slip. And I'll tell you, this case is exactly why I have a free love lesson on my website to keep couples together. Because here we have a husband and wife squaring off on each other. Even if they're exes, they are still parents. And who's caught in the crossfire here but their children? And this is so traumatizing for children. So there are two things I want people to take away. Number one, anybody can have a slip. You got to work your program, work your program, work your program. But the other is that people who go through divorces have to get to forgiveness of one another, and I'm not hearing that forgiveness is necessary. They're still blaming each other.
Yeah, but let's say, okay, the ex-wife is upset because he has access to the children and then he has slipped repeatedly. That might be her justification, whether or not her story is exaggerated. We know that he had an incident in 2005. He went to Betty Ford. He has the hamburger incident in 2007. Now he has this, and there's others reportedly.